Welcome everyone today to my stream here on Twitch and lichess. International Master William Paschall. We're streaming from the United States for another week or so. Then I'm going to take a few days off and revisit the streams from Budapest. Revisit wasn't the word I meant to say. I meant to say restart or something like that. But we'll be going back to Budapest at the end of the month, and I think from September 1st. We'll probably be taking a break between like the 25th and the 31st of August, and streaming again from September 1st. I think I'm going to take a break from the 26th until the from the 26th until the 31st, and we'll start streaming again from the 1st of August, 1st of September. That would be from Budapest time. I'm not set on the schedule yet. Guys, we've got a lot of challenges. I'm going to take subscribers first. I'd like to welcome everyone. What's that? YouTube trainer. So, let's get started. Anyway, I'd like to have challenges between 5+3 and 8+3. I really appreciate those of you who will challenge like to something a little bit shorter, because lately we've been getting like a lot of challenges and a lot of games. Shamanic Sight, Soltigo, these guys are not subscribers. Arsenal fan Richie. Arsenal fan, are you a subscriber? Not yet. Alright, he's not a subscriber yet. Catalea is not a subscriber yet, as far as I know. If you guys want to subscribe, you're welcome. Nefedov is our first subscriber challenge. We're going to take the subscribers, then play with the guests. Alright, Nefedov. If I play badly today, guys, I've been working a lot. I've basically been working all day, I think, since 9 o'clock this morning. So, not used to doing the constant work. I like to have it spaced out a little bit normally, but I'm working on a video project. I made 3 videos today, and it has some lessons as well. So, it's been a long day. All right. What are we going to play in English to kind of warm up? I don't want to get something too theoretical. Yeah, let's see. Soltigo said his power was out. I also live in an area where the power can go out, so I can feel your pain there, Soltigo. The boring English as always. As always? Twice I played the Classical King's Indian against Yellow Dragoon, and he's saying the boring English as always. Maybe it's an attempt at humor. But I need to get warmed up, Yellow Dragoon. So I'm playing a kind of quiet game for the first game. This is the first game I played. Unlike you guys, who've probably been playing all day, this is my first game for today. So I'm allowed to play a little quietly. I've been working on chess all day, but I literally haven't played a single game. So thinking about chess and making videos about it isn't enough. I should play e4 against Yellow Dragoon. I guess I haven't played e4 against you. Please subscribe, guys. When are you up? Let's see. Well, Divya Vatra and then you, I guess. So you'd be third. Zen Chess would be fourth. Then we go with the guests. Kasparov just beat Nakamura. Wow, is that his first win? Yellow's always saving lost positions. Oh man. I've been sitting all day in front of the computer. It's not good. Okay, so Queen D3, this is some position we consider basically the main line of the symmetrical English. I hope that White can maintain some kind of minuscule advantage here, theoretically. Bishop E6 is an interesting line. That was analyzed by the let's see, John Watson and John Donaldson. There was a game between these two English opening authors, which is really kind of funny. They actually battled in this variation and then submitted the game to Chess Informant. That was like 10 years ago. But anyway, like Bishop E6, like probably really critical. But theoretically, a6 is the main line. Javex Alcoholic said, no, Kasparov won a game versus someone because they hung a rook. Okay, Zen Chess sounds like he's talking about, like, I assumed Zen Chess was talking about something like that just happened. Is Zen Chess right or wrong? Kasparov did win a game against Lei Quang, right? Quang Liam. So, well, Quang Liam hung a rook apparently. Okay, you're right. Alright, so Kasparov has won a legitimate game now? Is that what we're trying to say? Or we got to give the guy a little bit of a break, man. People are just... It's awful to see what the trolls write. You know? Subscribers first. American Indian Shaman said, I know a little chess theory, but I play my moves by sight. Well, you mean, you're playing by intuition? You've got to play the board. I mean, you can't just memorize. Nobody can memorize chess theory that far to know the whole game. So you got to play by intuition, but to some extent. So rook b8. Nefedov, did you do this before? Because I think that someone played very similarly. The queen on c7 is your only mistake. I mean, you should just play rook b8 straight away, and there's no need for queen c7. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess I could play knight d5 here, but it trades pieces, which I don't love. I have to ask Spinal Tap Chess. He seems like an expert in Marazzi type of things. Alright, anyway, I don't know. We'll play b3. Looking for tactics, I don't see anything here. Guys, if I lose my voice in the stream, it will not be a surprise, because I did do a lot of recording today. 3 videos and other stuff. So please be patient if I lose my voice. Yellow Dragoon, I had that book. What book? Middle Game Understanding. What do you think about the book Calculation by Jacob Agard? I've never read it. I heard good reviews about it. Agard seems like a really he seems like a really legitimate, thoughtful author. I mean, you should ask your coach, because Sam, has written books too. So, I don't know. I mean, I would think Agard is highly regarded. Get it? Guarded, regarded, Agard. But, some chess authors put more into it than others, and I think this guy has a very good reputation. Certain people, like, every book they write is good. I mean, you can say that about, like, John Watson. There are some very diligent chess authors. John Donaldson, John Watson. Agard seems to be one of them. Dvoretsky, obviously. Some people are really... They don't write a book unless it's good, and other chess authors are like a mixed bag, where they write for money and they also sometimes, like, happen to write some really good books. I'm not in either category because I haven't published anything yet. But I assure you that if I do, it will be of good quality. Alright, now bishop e6. So basically this is a book position, but black has played queen c7. We almost have c5. Why didn't I play that last move? Come to think of it. If I played c5 last move, it didn't work because his bishop wasn't on e6, so he just takes with the pawn. Alright. So now we have possibly c5. Queen takes c5, knight d5. Seems profitable. I hope this works. The obvious point is like bishop f4. Prudagon, what? You let my coach has a legit 200, 300 books, so it's easy to borrow books. I definitely have probably at least 300, but I didn't count them. I would put myself in the same range, around 300. If you don't even have a space in your house, I had a friend who had so many books, chess books, that he actually had to like open a storage, one of those storage units. That's probably why Bobby Fischer has that story about the storage unit. He probably had a lot of chess publications that he had to put somewhere. So yeah, actually, I was lucky enough to visit R.G. Wade, who was a famous English author who lived in London, and this was like in the late 90s. I saw his house. He supposedly had the second largest chess library in the world, and it was pretty impressive. He had like rooms and rooms filled with books. So c5, 2 points here. If d takes c, bishop f4. If queen takes, we have knight to d5. When we win the e7 pawn and kind of mess up his structure. I just saw one variation that made me a little bit nervous, but worst case scenario would probably be unclear. Crazy line I just saw. I was looking at queen takes c5, knight d5, queen a3, which escaped my first glance. Then bishop b4, queen takes a2, and I wasn't sure if I could trap his queen or not. Played rook d8. So now pawn takes. Alright, now I'm getting a headache. This is what Divyavatra said last time. I'm getting a headache trying to calculate. Hansen clearly is... He's never read a chess book. Oh, that's interesting. Zen Chess, good recommendation about chess for zebras. Okay, I mean, you know, this stuff about never read a chess book. I mean, really? Or is that just an exaggeration? Does that mean like from cover to cover, or like never opened one? Or Sammy Reshevsky, like, who was almost like world championship caliber player. Another similar sort of thing where he claimed he never owned a chess set, like, or at least like didn't have one in his house. That's sort of hard to believe. All right, rook f8. We've got pawn takes pawn, or bishop f4 was my original thought. I'm having second thoughts about bishop f4, but why should I? Bishop f4, pawn takes pawn, bishop takes queen is good. Bishop f4, knight e8. Can we do better than bishop f4? What if we take on d6 first? Take on d6, queen takes d6, queen takes d6, pawn takes d6. If we play bishop f4, alright, it's a little more complicated. I don't know if this even works. Maybe it would be best to play pawn takes pawn. Alright. Oh man, this is not the best move. I should have played, I guess, pawn takes pawn in this position. Rook takes bishop f4. So now he's playing the best line. I have to play knight d5. Unfortunately, I gave him ideas. Whatever happens, I'm going to have compensation. You know, if he tries to go pawn grabbing, I mean, that's fine. Chess Quack. Chess Quack is solid. Welcome, everyone. Morovich. I have Modern Theory opening book from Drazen Morovich. Quite good. You know, so Morovich, not to be confused with the Chilean Grandmaster Morovich Fernandez. Morovich is an older, like, Grandmaster Wright, who worked for Chess and Formant. Okay, Nefedov, I don't think you have too many options here. I mean, I guess you could play Queen A7, but that's not, doesn't look real healthy. I mean, in the event of like Bishop A3. No, I think you have to play Queen A3 here. Or you're going to sacrifice your queen. Maybe he can. Bishop takes D5. Bishop takes D5. The problem is that the rook might hang on B8. You know, this is his best chance. Queen A3. This wouldn't have worked as well when my bishop was back on D2, but now it kind of makes some sense. So, I don't know, I have a stiff neck. I need... to try to trap this queen on A3. Let's see where he puts his king. Well, if he goes king H8, I could just defend the pawn like with a normal move. That's always convenient. If he goes to F8, now his king is like... okay, so we can just play the simple rook C2 or queen D2, something of that ilk. Rook C2 with the idea of doubling. My knight's not in danger of getting trapped. There's no bishop F5. Alright, I hope this is good. King F8 would have been interesting, but also more dangerous for black because his king would be exposed to tactics. Alright. I guess I have nothing better than to just come back here. So we just have a better structure at the end of the day. A nice slight advantage. Anastasia's Mate. Well, there's a really good beginner's book by some French players I was looking at the other day. The Art of the Checkmate. If you're ever working with like beginners, I highly recommend it. I need to focus here. I mean, I should still think about trapping his queen, right? It's not getting trapped so easily. Bishop C1, queen A5. That actually drives it back to a good square. I mean, seriously, this is probably a very, very stupid move. To drive his piece back to a good square. What if I just double? Does this make sense? I mean, there's nothing really going on the C file, though. I mean, I just didn't see anything clear. Queen A5, a useful move anyway. He's nearly trapped. Now he's going to have the really nasty pawn structure. Bishop G5. So unfortunately, Bishop G5 doesn't really work, it looks like. Wait a minute, Bishop G5, knight takes D5, Bishop takes D8. Takes D8, take. Yeah, that's not going to cut it, I don't think. I have lots of possible moves. I'm just not sure what to do here. I really don't want to trade pieces. We could trade one set of pieces. This is a strange move, I admit. Man, Nefedov. Defending pretty well. Is my rook trapped? Looks pretty trapped. am I doing now? Damn, dude. Why didn't I just take this pawn? I tell you, I had a long day. Nefedov is so fast. He's not in the mood to play bullet chess. Another pawn. He'll get one back here. Oh. Yeah, that's a lot of pawns. I know I probably missed something better. Got the armada going. Bishop c4 also recommended there. Nefedov, I'm getting dizzy. All right. I don't know. What was really going on? I think I was always better. I think I was always better here, but he got me kind of freaked out. I don't know. What about king f8? Computer doesn't like king f8 either. All right, what if you played queen a3 right away? The question is, was c5 a good move? Apparently it was a good move. This position has been reached, but some guy played knight d5. I mean, knight d5 that's a pretty lame move. I mean, really boring. c5 I thought was creative. Okay, guys. We've got Divlyavatra, who's really tough. I missed rook on c1, c7 somewhere. Yeah, maybe. Oh man, I've got such a stiff neck. Alright. Let's play g6. Divlyavatra didn't really respond that well to Benoni typo. Wasn't it you that didn't have a good game against the Benoni typo structures? Was that somebody else? Alright, now he's going with the seems like a good player. Yesterday I sacked my queen, but I actually gave him a really decent opportunity there. Okay, this position I could play queen a5, queen b6, d6, and c takes d. I think I played knight f6 here, but it might be a bluff. Knight f6, e5. Yeah, I played knight f6 once as a bluff, and my opponent could play e5 when I think knight e4, bishop d3, queen a5 check, king f1 is probably good for white. So I'm not going to do that again. Let's just do c takes d. I know the Marazzi really well with black. Maybe he prepared for me. Protagon. What's up, Worry? You like c5 was a good move. I didn't like knight d5. It felt very standard. Ah, now the early knight c2. This is very early. We have some aggressive possibilities here that wouldn't be possible if, you know, if white plays like knight c2 later on. So we'll play d6. Yeah, okay, well, I guess we go with the bishop takes c3 here. This is considered to be standard. Once I saw Ilya Smirin do this with white and like grovel for a draw against the 2400. Maybe Smirin was black in the reverse to the same position, but it's meaningless. I mean, it's the same structure. This is considered to be comfortable for me, but Life is not that easy, I guess. Alright, what should we do? Queen a5. This is book. A good Nimzo, basically? Well, it's, I don't know, it's not a standard Nimzo, because I do have weaknesses around my king's side. It's similar to the Jinji Indian. Roman Jinjiash really liked these lines a lot for black. But I guess there's quite a bit of theory. I don't really know it very deeply. I just focus on positional ideas. I think once I had this line against like a USCF expert, probably, and won easily with black. But I never had to play this position against a strong, you know, master or anything. Most masters don't allow this. But I think that theoretically white, you know, has his chances in these positions. Just that I think that white's position is harder to play than black's position. So we try to focus on the c2, c4 pawn. That is. I'm not sure about the move order. This might not even be right. I'm mercenary of chess. That's what I said. Trying to answer your question yesterday. Heading for the c4 pawn. I'm more than happy, you know, to make this exchange. That bishop on, or rather the knight on d4 is an extremely strong piece. Now it feels very Nimzo Indian-y, if that's a word. It's tempting to play like king f7 around here. I'm a little worried my king can get opened up. I mean, is this... I mean, b6 is a sound move. Should I defend e6 or not? Why is Divyavatra playing so fast? He must be playing a lot of 3-0. He's playing this like it was a 3-0 game. If I play knight bd7, I can't trap his queen. King f7 is interesting, but also a bit risky. Alright, let's try it. I need to put the king anyway, somewhere, so we might as well defend the pawn. I lean short knight e8 against b4. What are you guys talking about? Oh, the mainline king's Indian. Knight e8, well, Mark Hebden used to play king h8. You might as well try that. I don't think there's really any difference between king h8 and knight e8. You might as well just play king h8. But I mean, Hebden is a practical player. The theory says that knight e8 isn't so good, and king h8 for that matter, but okay, I mean, Yellow Dragoon is talking about mainline king's Indian. Theory says like his line is one of the better lines, a5. Okay, now Divyavatra wants to trade queens. That's fine with me, but I only want to trade on my terms, so we could play queen c7 here. It's not that I mind trading queens, but I don't want to trade queens on his terms. Good battle with knights versus bishops. Better structure for black. I played a lot of Jinji Indians, so I feel like my king is okay. Rook b1. it's a practical move, but it it does support a4, a5 in some lines from a1. Well, the rest of white's pieces aren't developed here. I think that black is better now. So this move may complicate things a little bit. Bishop f4. I'm confident that I'm not worse, but I'm not sure if I'm really that much better objectively. But I like my structure. I think black's easier to play here than white. Like, he's got a time advantage. I mean, I could have even taken with the pawn on e5. It wouldn't be that bad. But I guess I'm trying for the best of both worlds. The knight fork. Whoops. That's a better square here. I want to get a family fork on d3. What's an excellent book? King's Indian Warfare. Alright, now we're going for material. Which rook? Maybe it makes sense to use the other rook here. Keep a7 protected. The rook's not doing anything on h8, is it? I could even retreat my king back here. Yeah, this is what I anticipated, but I didn't see that he'd be on this hanging knight on d7. Knight takes c4. So what if I play like queen c6 or something? Knight takes c4, bishop takes c4, queen takes c4, and the queen takes d7. Queen takes c3 check. King e2. Oh, that's complicated. Complicated. We got a time disadvantage. Knight c5, queen c2 is okay. Yeah, I mean, knight c5 would ruin our focus here. Got to play with a plan. Maintaining the plan. Le plan. Alright. Bye-bye, queen. Can I have a take back, please? Embarrassing. If I get a mouse slip in a tournament game, I'm not expecting a take back, alright? I'll just resign. But in that case, I mean, maybe I might even give somebody a take back in a tournament game. I mean, if it was a rated game. If it's that obvious of a mouse slip, I haven't had a mouse slip that bad in a while. But since it's an unrated game, I think it's a no-brainer. There are some people, dude, on my stream. There was this one guy, I won't name any names, but he basically won one game against me by not giving me a take back on an obvious, like, dropping my queen mouse slip. But I won't humiliate him further. Yeah, this is the one reason why I hesitated about rook h8, moving it. But I guess I should not panic here. You can always put the knight on f6. Oh, man. All right. Is h5 a move I want to play? Maybe. h5 weakens my king side a little bit. All right. Not so easy for him to exploit it. I mean, this rook can come over here. The g file I can defend. Yeah, that's what I figured. I mean, I guess he's got some compensation here. Two bishops. One has to argue that white has some kind of comp. Okay, I can defend with knight f6. That's probably a rational way to deal with the situation, right? We just don't want him to double rooks. I also have e5. If he ever tries any nonsense like rook b5, I have e5. Just ending it. These knights are pretty decent. I don't know if I'm winning, but I know I'm not worse. Bishop h6, rook g8. I guess I have rook c5. Well, I have to move my knight first. What about Naka promoting to knight and lost? I did not know about this. Alright guys, if I play badly today, I just want you to know that I've had a hard day. So far, so good. Rook b4. That's a good move to kind of keep the tension. Actually pretty irritating. I guess I'm going to have to do something crazy like 95 now. Oh man. I don't want to do that. I have to do d5. That looks awful. Wow, rook b4. Am I panicking here? A little bit. Yeah, I'm definitely panicking. Alright. Let's not panic. I was panicking, beginning to panic. I don't want to play d5. That really opens up the position for his bishops. Well, Divyavatra. He's 23.95 in blitz now. Playing out of 3-0. Yeah, this is the one move. But I said, let's not panic. So we have squares, we have reasonable moves here. Why don't I go like 95? Oh, that's actually a problem, okay. I was planning king e8, but I've changed my mind. White has compensation for the sacrificed pawn. Gotta admit, it's a little scary. I need the d6 square. Dude is fast. Now white's probably better. I don't know though. Difficult to say. Difficult to say. Maybe he's not better. We have very strong pieces. Well, I mean, okay, dude. It's not a mouse slip. I mean, but we're gonna start taking takebacks for like blunders now. I mean, it's you can have a takeback, but it's not a mouse slip. I mean, it's just a game, dude. I made mistakes too. I don't even know if black is better here. I mean, he's asking for a takeback. I'm probably worse. That's really weird. I'm probably worse because this pawn is so scary. I might even be worse. He's got the king from hell. Oh, there's a check. Jesus. All right. I'm happy with the draw. Everybody gets a take back. But I don't know, man. You put me in a very awkward spot there. I don't want to be a mean guy, but you know, a blunder is one thing, but a take back for a mouse slip is a little different. So, all right, I'll take the draw, man. I don't know, but you guilted me, and you made me feel guilty with that take back offer. We can't start taking back every move that like we make a mistake. But if I drop my queen on a one move blunder, you know, where it's obviously the square next to where I meant to go, you know, I think I'm fair offering a draw there. I can't give you a take back. I was like almost about to lose on time. Yellow Dragoon, you're white again. What are we gonna do against him? All right, what did we play last time? Sicilian. No, the only takebacks we're doing here are if somebody makes an obvious mouse slip. Other than that, it's actually very disruptive to offer a takeback. Okay, last time against Yellow Dragoon, I played the Rouser. Let's play another Accelerated Dragon. I didn't have enough last game, so I'm going to go for it again. But anyway, aside from takebacks and mistakes, it was an interesting struggle against Vatra. I thought I was better, and then I had the feeling I might even be worse when I allowed that bishop f1 trick, but maybe I had enough compensation with the exchange sacrifice. I don't know. I was kind of lucky that I had that, to be honest. I just made a blunder. Forget to take back. But it's okay. I mean, your blunder wasn't that serious. I think you were actually still better there after your blunder. But you made me think. You made me think for a while. Queen a5 here or a5. The Oigle variation. Oogle. Anyway, I think a draw was a fair result. We were both like making a lot of mistakes and time pressure. Guys, we're going to play the subscribers first. And then our take-backs allowed in simuls. I don't think that take-backs are allowed in simuls. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so he played castles. Now A4 is really complicated. I'm just going to play this. I think like H3 now. No, he played knight B5. What is going on? Okay, I'm lost, confused. Okay, I don't know what's going on here. If knight G4, we're just in the twilight zone or something. If A4, knight takes A4. What's up with that? A4, knight takes A4, knight takes E4, bishop B6 with advantage to white, probably. I think maybe he knows like the exact refutation of this variation. So D6 is a mistake because of knight B5, and you happen to know that? Wow, dude. That's kind of obscure. Most people would have played like H3 or something like that. So A4, knight takes A4, knight takes E4, and knight B6 or bishop B6. My head is hurting again. Usually yellow dragoon. Usually he'll say the moves. Alright. What's going on after this? Just insta moves? I don't know what's going on here, but I don't really like it. It's kind of weird. Now bishop D2. That's not what I expected. Maybe I should just play something like King H7. I don't know. Knight E5 or knight F6. Does it really matter? Could matter. Could have some. He's playing awful fast this game. Could have some knight E5 A4 ideas. Right. White's playing like way too fast. I mean, why play bishop D2 instead of bishop H4? Seems kind of weird. He's just in blitz mode. Difficult to decide, but I don't want to give him F4 with tempo. I think he played bishop D2 using like no time, and he's just making a lot of routine moves now. Rook E1. But still, maybe it's good. Let's see. He's got knight D5. Alright, I'm going to play this. I don't see a better plan here. The B2 pawn would be hanging. Yellow Dragoon's just playing too fast, like it's a bullet game. I don't understand why he's moving that fast. I guess he just played too much bullet today. Alright, I'm definitely having a tired day. So the question is b6 or e6. But the point of my stream isn't really to try to play as fast as possible. I mean, I really try to play the best moves. So if I lose on time, I lose on time. But I'm not going to sit here and try to play the fastest moves possible. b6 or e6, or maybe even bishop e6 actually. Maybe this move makes some sense here. We had this theme just a minute ago. I mean, e6 just weakens my structure too much. I mean, all of Yellow Dragoon's moves are fine, but I just think that he's missing the point and playing too fast. You're playing theory, not bullet. Dude, you played like a totally obscure position and you're making instantaneous moves. I don't think this is theory. There's no chance that it's theory, dude. It's not a theory. It doesn't exist. Like after knight b5, I mean, this position after knight g4, I don't think we're gonna find one game. I mean, this is not theory anymore. This is just a totally random position where you need to find like the best moves. All right, dude. You're getting like taking it too personally. I mean, I'm trying to help you, you know, to think about the game a little differently. Take your time and try to play the best moves. You got 6 minutes. Why do you have to make all your moves in 1 minute? It's a common mistake. Position is more important than the clock. This is very, very fundamental. You have an advantage and you're moving instantaneously. It's a big mistake, dude. Definitely. I mean, I think he could probably have a clear advantage right now if he had taken his time. But probably at this point, black is almost okay. I mean, I think I made a serious mistake when I played d6. And after d6, knight b5, white probably has a significant advantage. Actually, after bishop g5, h6, but he just plays a little too fast. He's taking his time now. But it's not a competition, man. I mean, my stream is meant to kind of help players, not like piss you off. So don't take it so personally. I'm not trying to hurt anybody by criticizing them. You know, you're too sensitive if that's the case. Must rest when the simul comes, dude. Why am I tired? I worked all day. This is in Neji. Oh, he said it's in Neji. Yeah, the whole thing. I mean, I think I just made a bad move, dude. I mean, I think that the d6 is a bad move. Knight g4 might not be the best move either. But the other dragoon is gonna like time out here. Seriously? Nobody's ever done that. Alright. I think he's personally insulted or something. That's pretty strange. I thought the best continuation of the plan would have been knight e2 playing for f5. No, too passive. I guess the other dragoon is just gonna like lose on time here. It's pretty strange. Alright. Bishop takes e6. Well, I told him to take his time. He took his time. Well, alright, I'm going to propose a take back. This is an obvious mouse slip. He took his time. I hope he wasn't insulted. I thought he was gonna like abandon the game or something. He seemed angry in the chat. F takes e6, and now white is slightly better. But I feel like I have a playable position, whereas I thought it was just totally bad for me before. Now it's just a little bit bad. We went from totally bad to just a little bit bad. Not that bad. Yeah, the subscribers go play first. Occasionally I'll take a guest first. But I mean, in all honesty, like as far as theory goes, the move is like a4. I just didn't play the theoretical move because I am afraid. You know, I mean, I'm supposed to play a4. I played this once against Samsonisti. This is the main line, and I think that's probably best. I mean, I guess there's some games with d6. I don't think it's really good for black though, and this has got to be best. But I can't imagine like knight g4 is so good. After bishop g5, h6, like bishop h4, I thought. Even bishop d2, the way he played it is fine. I'm just trying to tell him to take his time because he's played a little bit fast. Not to say his moves are bad, just the point is to take your time. You can't be sure your moves are the best if you don't take your time. So anyway, I still think I'm worse in this position, but it's like manageable probably. Bishop takes, queen takes. He's threatening e5, it looks like. If I take, if I give him the d5 square, he's got an advantage there. What would Larson do? Well, anyway, he can take on g7 and force me to take, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. Maybe rook f4. I wonder if rook f4 makes sense. Kind of like this move. A little bit risky. You don't have to get insulted, man. I mean, I'm just, you know, it's not really meant to be a competitive. I mean, it is competitive, but I'm just trying to help everybody, you know. So you got to take my criticism in a constructive way, and I might be wrong, you know. But I'm trying to be constructive in a positive way, and it's just a general like thing, you know. Just even if you're sure you know, you should probably like use your time in this time control, even if you think you know the move. Like Walter Brown used to use all his time in positions he already knew. He was looking for time pressure. But like I know that a4 is the best move. I mean, I just didn't want to play it because I don't know the theory. So I think it's not that common what we got into. Now this position looks like it's still better for white. I'm sort of hanging on. G3 is interesting. G3, it weakens his king side, but I thought maybe G3, rook F3, E5, and D5. Maybe that's good for me. I'm not sure. Okay, now. My favorite move, well, one of my favorite moves in the accelerated dragon. Queen H8. But, I mean, this queen is a very powerful piece here. Maybe this is too much of a concession. Giving up time. I still think white is better. He had to calm down. He was upset about my comments, but please, nobody get upset about my comments. It's really not worth it. If you don't agree with something I said, just ignore me. Okay, we've got Queen E3. I have no tactics, of course. I never have tactics. Okay, we're threatening rook takes f2 for whatever that's worth. And this move. Now what am I supposed to do? Like a minority attack on the king side? Good God. That looks kind of crazy. Minority attack, the classic minority attack on the king side. Like, it's in front of my king, that's the only problem. Other than that, it's great. I don't know if this is a win or a perpetual check, but it's at least a perpetual. I didn't really calculate if it's a forced win or not. I know I have at least a draw here. We play rook takes. We should be better. I'm not sure it's a forced win, but we're better. I don't see a mate. Well, should I just take the knight? Got a lot of pawns. Gotta go this way. We can take on our terms. All right, now we just take his knight. Queen check. Now take. All right, man. So I want to see how bad this was for me. Yeah, so yeah, he says it's still theory. He's right, of course. I don't think it's good theory for black, though. A4 is the main line. It's definitely the best move. You know, I think that's what I consider to be, you know, critical. But so knight b5 and now knight g4. But this is bad. See, like 92% for white after knight to g4. I felt this was a bad move. This is where I'm like leaving book. I don't think this is good, dude. I mean, knight g4 is just not a good move. And I think you should play bishop g5. But after h6, you're actually following book, bishop d2. I like bishop h4 better. But I don't understand like why bishop h4 isn't good. It feels like you want to induce me to play g5, and you have like pressure on my e7 pawn, so I don't know. I mean, I think that's got to be good for white. Okay, bishop d2 may be good too. But I don't consider this theory. I mean, this is not theory when like white won like 9 out of 10 games, dude. It's just a bad position. I mean, we left book like a couple moves ago when I played the stupid move knight to g4. This is just, dude, 13 games and white won 12. I mean, it's just bad for black. I can't play this move, so I have to play something better here, like a4. A4 seems like an accurate version of a4, the previous move. I could play like maybe b6 some kind of constructive move. But here, yeah, I mean, you can call it theory if you want to, but it's just a bad position. I messed up. Bishop g5, h6. This is not good. King h7. So people have wandered into this position, but I think it's really bad for black. Rook e1. You're following a Tchaikovsky game. That's amazing. And now b6. I played knight d7, which is probably the second best move to b6. What's that? a4 was recommended in chess opening for black explained. I wouldn't want to play it again. I played it one time, and it's really scary for black. I don't know, man. I don't want to play this line anymore. I don't really trust it. Anyway, later on, I thought that white was just like better here, but the engine says it's like equal after queen takes d4. I guess it's just equal. Even here, he can trade queens. I mean, honestly, you can just trade queens and be slightly better. But this was risky to not trade queens. Now here he has to find knight e2, and if knight e2, I think he still stands slightly better in this position, in my opinion. I mean, maybe the engine says it's equal, but you're certainly not worse. All right, guys. Next is Zen chess. Now a4, I played it once 10 years ago. It's a known line. It's just very, very like memory, like, you know, requisite. You have to memorize like 35 moves, and it's very tactical and hard to remember the lines. I don't normally play that line. I didn't realize that the Yellow Dragoon was so heavily prepared theoretically. I wouldn't play a4 against anybody, you know, who really knew. I played d6 against Katsur, a really strong Hungarian junior. He's like 2,500 now, I think, close to 2,500. Like 2 years ago against Florian Katsur, but he didn't know to play knight b5. Yellow Dragoon knows more than the average. He knows more than the average 2450 Hungarian kid. Triggered. Easily triggered. Knight to d4. But I'm not here to compete with you. Just have some fun. Castles and Zen chess. What am I thinking about? We're taking on d5, taking on b5. Hyper competitive. So I try not to be hyper competitive. I am competitive. Knight takes b5, d5 I don't like. We had this game the other day. I've been playing this a lot, Zen chess. I think you played it against me once before, maybe. But we have Mule Skinner, who's not here today, one of our regular subscribers. Alcohol is actually good. Yeah, if you want to chill, I recommend that. If you're if you're of legal drinking age in your region. But please don't be insulted by me. I mean my comments in a constructive way. Bishop d7, it's not the most useful move. I've played knight f6, I've played knight h6, I've played bishop d7 in this position. I've even seen people who went like e6. That looks gross. Let's see Zen chess. But I am a little bit tired today, so if anybody wants to buy me a beer, I'll probably fall asleep. Knight c3. I still have another video to make after this stream too, so I'm under the gun. Bishop d7, and I've played knight h6 here, and I've played knight f6 here. You could even play bishop g4 if you really wanted to play for a draw, I guess, and just trade pieces. I've even played bishop c6 here, I think, in one game. Maybe that was against Zen chess like a year ago. I don't know, man. I don't really like this variation anymore. We've had some crazy games with knight h6. I just don't know if I want to do that again. We could play like e6. I looked at this with the engine. It was like e5, clear advantage to white or something. Knight f6 is the most natural move. Let's just play that. The question is, like, should I even bother playing bishop d7 in this position? I don't know. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe this is a mistake to play bishop d7. It doesn't really accomplish much for black, and it just drives his knight back to essentially where it has to go anyway. You look at all moves. Well, it's impossible to look at all moves, even if you're a computer. But I'm a little slow today, so I'm kind of freaking out when I get in time pressure. Not feeling the freshest mentally. Dragoon is 15, then not too many countries you can legally drink alcohol. I guess there might be some. What is the legal drinking age in, like, Africa? What is the legal drinking age in, like, the Congo or something? You can probably find some place where it's allowed. E5. Just going with the E5. Oh god, my head hurts again. What have I done to myself? I have to take. Zen chess, don't even tell me we played this before, because I don't remember. I had a very similar game against Muleskinner. We've had several. I don't think I trust black's position here. I like how yellow... Yeah, yellow asked me the other day what my specialty is. It's definitely not the opening, you know, so... You're in the right place. You can teach me openings, and I'll try to help you with other stuff. But I do have a sense for the opening. Like, I knew when I played knight g4 that I was going in the wrong direction. I could feel it immediately. I think I went in the wrong direction, though, the whole variation. If you want to play a5, then you should play a4. If you don't play a4, then a5 doesn't seem right. That's my opinion. Alright, now what? Are we in trouble? Or did white, like, overextend himself? Does anyone know? I actually have this move, which could be a convenient way of undermining the e5 pawn. If aliens play chess... Well, I have a better question. Protagon. Maybe aliens invented chess. I'm surprised that, like, you know, Kirsan Ilumjanov hasn't made that claim yet. He was on Ancient Aliens, the president of FIDE, and he, of course, famously claimed that he was abducted by aliens in Moscow and taken aboard a spaceship. He's like the world's most famous high-ranking politician who's ever claimed this. But, I mean, I'm surprised that he doesn't take it a step further and say that aliens invented chess, because it would be a logical kind of thing, right? Right. Oh, he did that. Okay, so thanks, Yabek's alcoholic. I didn't know that he claimed they invented chess. I know that he claimed he was abducted by aliens, but I didn't know that he claimed... I mean, it's logical, right? If you get abducted by aliens, and you're the president of the World Chess Federation, there has to be a connection, right? They didn't just, like, randomly pick him. I mean... There had to be a reason behind it, basically. Bishop c6, bishop f4. Okay, we got to hit the e5 pawn again. Castling would be okay, but there are multiple reasons for bishop c6. I want to make sure my knight is unprotected. No, seriously. I'm getting a little nervous. I think I'm okay. The thing is, I've got queen d4. In some positions. I guess the threat isn't really to play bishop takes f3. The more serious threat would be to play knight takes e5 straight up. So h3, knight takes e5. Maybe Zen chess has very slightly overextended himself. On the other hand, Maybe he has a good move here. He could even like sacrifice a pawn. I mean, I don't think that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe bishop d4 is something, but you could like lose a pawn. White is ahead of development here. Wow, he did claim that. I didn't know that. Okay, that's cool. Kirsan Limjanov apparently may have claimed that chess was invented by aliens. It makes sense though, and it goes totally in the ancient alien agenda kind of thing. I'm surprised they don't have like, they're running out of episodes to make for that show. I'm surprised they haven't done one specifically about aliens and chess, because they're so desperate to find like a more subjects to pursue. Anyway, guys, we're playing subscribers first. He played queen e1. That is a disturbingly direct move. Okay, bishop takes f3. Darn. Bishop takes f3, rook takes f3, queen d4 check, and then we snap the pawn on e5. I think this might be bad for me. But only if he has some... Oh, no. He's got to take with a rook. Okay, queen d4 check. Bishop takes... Pawn takes isn't no good. So bishop takes, pawn takes, rook takes, queen d4 check, king h1. Then I have knight takes e5. Knight takes e5. Knight b5. Knight takes f3. Knight takes d4. Knight takes to e1. I guess we're going to find out if this is good enough. We got to calculate like a computer. Queen d4 check. A knight takes e5 right away doesn't work. So it looks like we have knight takes e5. The problem with bishop takes e5 is that, well, he has knight b5, which is I don't even know if it works. Bishop takes e5, bishop takes e5, queen takes e5. Bishop takes e5, knight b5, queen takes b2. Then bishop takes e5, queen takes e5, queen takes e5, knight takes e5, knight check, king up, knight takes f3. This never ends. Like, there's never ending variation. I could just go on forever. Although it may be simpler to just like take on e5 with a knight. Knight takes e5. Knight takes e5. I even looked at like bishop takes e5, queen takes e5, rook e3. There gets awkward as well. Alright, I don't know, I'm confused, but I think it's okay for me. Zen chess, maybe I should have done the daring bishop takes e5. Bishop takes e5. What was I calculating? Bishop takes e5. Was this better for me? Yeah, bishop takes e5, knight b5, and then queen takes b2. You've actually got all sorts of moves there, like rook b1. That actually looks pretty nasty. Rook b1 is super complicated. You guys understand what's going on here? Butt fanatic. That's fine. I have no problem with that. Guys, I just played the subscribers first, and then we go on to the guests. Making our way through the subscribers. The scribers. Who's that? Protagon. Thank you, Protagon. What's up, guys? Please check out my YouTube channel, Video Chess Training on YouTube. Well, he may be going into the variation of like rook e3, but guys, I really thought like he has rook e3 here. And I didn't see a terrific move for black, to be perfectly honest. I think I might have to play f6. And then white has just wonderful strategic compensation for his sacrificed pawn. So, like, if nothing else, rook e3. Oh no, rook e3 just drops a piece. My bad. Alright. Never mind. Never mind, Zen Chess. That's a good call. You didn't play that dropping a piece move. So knight b5 was complicated. He took bishop takes. So bishop takes e5 or queen takes e5. Bishop takes e5. Knight b5 is a bit awkward. Bishop takes e5, knight b5, driving my queen, away, and then I have to do like queen takes b2, rook b1, queen takes a2. It's like super scary. And I don't like my king in the middle of the board. If we do bishop takes, seems like queen takes rook e3. Queen takes rook e3, queen g5 or something. No, queen f6, knight e4. He still doesn't have anything clear. I just don't see anything clear for him here. I can play queen f6 or queen anywhere, actually. I mean, even queen d6, knight b5, queen d7, rook takes e7 check, queen takes e7. That doesn't work for white. He doesn't seem to have a great move. Okay, no matter what I do, no matter where I go, like his knight could come here or maybe here. So I mean, I have to protect e7. I guess we go to d6. We're hoping that we're not missing anything obvious here. Both down to a minute. I don't see anything special for him. I think he missed something somewhere. Something good for white. So knight e4. Now I have to play queen c6. And it appears we're okay. Unless I missed something major. We're still up a pawn. I have a pain in my head. I said that already. I have a pain in my head today. This is like the third game in a row. Divyavatra. Yeah. It's like you yesterday. Exactly. Actually, you missed it. I said that earlier. I made the same comparison. I'm out of here, man. My king is out of here. We're pawn up. I'm not going to be materialistic. I mean, I could take a second pawn. I just don't feel like having that headache. We have threats in this position now. Possibly f5, f4. But I've got to be very careful if this works or not. f5, knight g5, f4, queen h3. So that's probably dangerous. Probably not my best interest to like play f5 here. We should make some sort of defensive move. Keep him away from g5. And I can always play e6 or e5 if I have to. I'd love to have won a piece with f5, f4, but I just don't see it. Maybe he can sacrifice a rook. He's got problems with the back rank, though. We should be winning here, and we have a better, better piece, better minor piece, pawn up, and we should have the safer king in the long run. So, what next? Huh. Minority attack? Oh, we'll just play. I don't know. I gotta find moves. c4 I should play. I missed it. Alright. It's probably better late than never. He's got a pawn hanging there. This is materialistic. I'm not going to be materialistic. We don't have any tricks. Just returning home to base as I'm about to lose on time. Alright, Zen chess. Obviously, it went wrong at some point, but I think you had a good game. I've been struggling with this position for a long time. Bishop d7 may be an inaccuracy. I don't know. Yul Skinner's played this position against me like 100 times. I mean, e6 is played here. I hate that move. I can't even begin to say how much I hate e6. But they all play e6. Knight h6 I played. This may be a bad combination. Bishop d7 and knight f6. So takes. F takes, knight g4. Apparently this is okay for me. It's just perfect play. For the situation, I mean. I don't think that we both played perfectly earlier, but... So queen e2, you have to go queen e2 instead of queen e1. And it's like equal. Apparently this is your inaccuracy. And all this variation I was analyzing, I did the right thing, I guess. White just doesn't have enough compensation. What was I looking at? Like knight b5 or something? What about bishop takes e5? Didn't I? No, it doesn't do anything, does it? Okay, let's move on. Alright guys, any other subscribers in the list here? No, we're gonna play Soltigo 5-5. I appreciate the faster game. What if I played e6 instead of queen e1? I don't know, you have to look at it. We didn't look at e6 for you. It might be possible. The computer says that queen e2 is best. It's just a little bit not the classic maneuver. Alright. That was enough Sicilian for today. My head hurts and I want to play something solid. Oh man. We had a really tough day today. It doesn't get harder than that. I basically worked all day. Mentally. Mental work is harder than physical work. That's what you'll hear every paper pusher in the world claiming. It's harder than, like, you know, construction. But I don't know if that's true or not. I feel like I took like 3 exams today. Ah, the knight c3 variation. This is actually kind of topical now, knight f6. But I don't know that too well, so we'll play the old school. The old school variation. Bobby Fischer strangely had problems with the Caro-Kann. And if you ever want to see some nice games, check out the games where Kyrgios actually beat him with black. Kyrgios won 2 games against Fischer in this variation. Really nice, like, strategic victories with the black pieces. Anyway, this move, bishop e2 move, what's that about? Tempted to play knight f6 now, but that allows him to play e5 with tempo. Soltigo. Actually, another interesting factoid. Fischer also claimed that this was at the Budapest thermal bath. Bobby Fischer claimed that, like, pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn, knight e5 leads to advantage for white. Maybe he was just exaggerating. Anyway, this is a blitz game. That is a pretty safe line for white, I will say. Really easy line to play if you guys ever want to try that. Like d5, pawn takes pawn, knight e5. It's kind of cool, but it should be okay for black. Anyways, back to the real world. Nefedov, I've been sitting in front of the computer, like, making videos all day. I've been doing chess instruction. all day, like basically 9 hours straight. But usually I take some. Usually I have some breaks in between. Today was really tough. Let's see. I had some lessons and videos the whole day. Let's see. It's knight f6 or bishop e7 or knight d7 here. I'm trying to kind of maintain the tension, as you can see. Knight f6 is interesting, but again, it's that tempo rearing its ugly head. Nothing wrong with knight d7, I guess. Seems like a decent move. I mean, optimally, we really like to have the knight on c6, like have him exchange and put our knight on c6. I guess we can't have everything. So let's try something provocative here. Putting pressure with the bishops on the center. Who said Budapest thermal bath? I played chess there. So Fischer liked to go to the thermal baths in Budapest. And I have a friend who met him there and watched him. They were not friends, but they had a mutual friend. And Fischer was analyzing, I don't remember with who, and he was talking about this variation, you know, like knight f3, d5, pawn takes pawn, and knight e5. It's a very simple way to play with white, but it's actually quite effective if white doesn't know what they're doing, which is surprisingly often. Alright, anyway, this game is going to degenerate into time fest. But I did ask people to play more like faster games. I decided to give up the bishop there. I feel like my position is a little bit passive. Playing a6 so I can play c5 without worrying about knight b5. I don't think this is a common position. It's probably slightly better for white. It looks like he can play like knight e2 and reposition to the king's side. I feel like I'm playing a bad Gurgenidze Caro-Kann now. Maybe I had to play bishop h5 instead of bishop. This was a more combative move. Bishop h5 instead of bishop takes f3. I don't want to give up the two bishops. I could play bishop takes f3. Okay, this move looks a little artificial to me. I'm kind of happy to see that. Probably not a terrible move, though. Maybe much more dangerous than I give it credit. Okay, what's he gonna do to me? Like bishop g5 or something? Queen f3. We're playing the winnower. Now queen g4. But that like loses a piece for white, doesn't it? He's gonna lose a piece here. I hope it doesn't matter if I take on c3 first, because I didn't. I was thinking this might be simpler. And white might get some scary compensation. I can't believe that he's like prepared this, thought this like in advance. I mean, it's a very strange way to sacrifice a piece. You have to admit. Now, I don't have to take it right away. I can actually finesse this, so I think first of all I'm going to take on c3 just to make life simpler. And then we've got all sorts of moves. Knight f5, rook g8 wins a piece. Knight f5 looks kind of cool. We don't have to take the bishop right away. I mean, he might get a little bit of counterplay if I take it just like flat. Right, now I can take or I can wait. I'm not sure which is better. I could even play f6, I guess. That looks kind of risky, though. Taking. I'm going to hold off on taking. I can't imagine that white has sufficient compensation for a bishop here. We just don't take it right away. We have a strong knight on f5. Worst case scenario, I guess I could like take and play the knight back to e7 if it gets attacked. Soltigo, playing a little too fast yourself here. I mean, it is 5-5, but Magnus's official trainer it was the missus. The missus always asked the questions. More curious by nature. H6. The prophylactic move. I like this. And I'm not going to settle for like one bishop. I want to win two. Because I'm just like greedy by nature. I'm actually not going to win two. But actually the dark squared bishop is much more dangerous than the white squared bishop. The dark square bishop is the piece that's trying to control like the weak squares on my dark squares here. So I'm much happier to get rid of that guy than the white squared bishop. I mean, you could take on h5, of course, but this just feels even better. He'll have no threats now. Mubat, thank you for being here. Guys, we're going to try to play as many of the viewers as possible. Justice of Disaster is a subscriber, so he would be up next. And then Shamanic Sight, Arsenal fan Richie. Okay, now if I take on g5, I'm winning 2 pieces for the price of 1. But is that being too greedy? I can take on g6 and also win 2 pieces. Yeah, it all looks good. Famous last words. I mean, there's got to be a best way to do this, but alright. He doesn't have bishop f6 because of knight takes f6. So now he has to sacrifice a second piece, or maybe I'll just not even take a second piece. Oh, alright, this loses immediately. We're just up 2 knights now. So that's fortunate. g6 is protected. We could just castle. Soltigo with the meltdown. Soltigo played too fast. Maybe the time control made you nervous? Because we're usually playing like 8+3. Did you play faster because you felt pressured by the 5+5? Justice of Disaster, a subscriber here. Roman, I don't think is a subscriber. Do we have any new subscribers today? We haven't had a day without a subscriber for a while. I'm going to play e4 because you guys always say I'm... Yellow said I'm boring. The boring English. The boring English, man. Played by almost every world champion I can bring to mind. Alright. But I am going to play e4. Arsenal fan Richie is not a sub, but I'm sure he will be when I go back to Europe. He hasn't been able to catch the stream too often. He is a regular here. But I don't blame him for not subscribing. If he's in a time zone where it's actually, you know, difficult to catch the stream. Alright, so we're going to play knight c3. I'm playing against my own favorite opening. Many of you guys have seen me play this with black if you watch my stream on a regular basis. Yeah, you guys can also donate. Richie has donated. Please donate via PayPal. That counts as a kind of subscription. Bishop g7. Not usually played. Right. Okay, this is a line. It's not common. Ponomariev has a game where he did this with black against somebody. So you've got to play really hyper-modern chess here for black. We're going to transpose to a backward development. Extremely hyper-modern, allowing white to push the pawn to e5, inducing white to push the pawn to e5. And then you've got to play like it's the Alekhine's defense with knight g8. If you guys would like to support the stream with donations, that's also appreciated, as Richie pointed out. Rich is, he's going to make it, though. I think we've got time for at least 3 more games. The e6, though, you've got to play, believe it or not, in this position, I think f6. Justice of Dictator. f6 is a reverse of a variation I used to play when I was white. See, it looks like here the dark square weaknesses are really serious. I have knight e4 or knight b5. I would guess knight b5 would be better, because if knight e4 he might be able to trade queens. I mean, it does feel like I'm wasting time, but it feels like I have to play it. I mean, you could just develop, I suppose, but this is going to really inconvenience black. Slaggy's son. Your Catalea, will you play me on your real account? DST. Who's saying this? I'll sub if you checkmate Stockfish level 1 in Ultra Bullet. I love DST with his challenges. I could like start to bargain with him, you know. I'll play Stockfish level 1 in Ultra Bullet if you sub for like 3 years straight. Of course, there's no guarantee. I can't contractually bind him to subbing for 3 years straight. So knight to b5. I'm not that interested in checkmating Stockfish level 1 in 15-second chess. I doubt I could do it. I could probably do it if I practiced it a lot, but I really don't think I have enough years left to dedicate my life to checkmating Stockfish level 1 in 15 seconds or less. Why is queen a5 no good? Well, that's why I played knight b5, Chazar, because he's got take knight c7 check. That's why I played this instead of knight e4. Knight e4 he could play queen a5 check, trade queens, and still like be alive, you know. But this way he can't stop knight d6, and there's a double threat. So he can't play queen a5 check without losing the rook. That's what I thought, why I thought this was superior to knight e4. Anyway, guys, please subscribe. Please check out my YouTube channel. Please subscribe and share my videos from YouTube with your friends, and that's cool too. If you can't afford to subscribe, that's cool. Just hang out with us and learn some chess, contribute to the discussion. I think I'm going to go forward, you know, have some stream like just for viewers sometimes. Okay, so now here we are. Mr. Justice of Dictator he sacrificed his right to castle, but now the smoke is clearing. I don't have any kind of knockout blow in this position. I have to make sure my pawn is protected on e5. I have to complete my development. It's tempting to play knight to g5 to continue to like go for the throat. It might be good, but it also looks like it might fall behind development and be inherently risky. So basically I'm trying to judge at this point, you know, if this is something worth like pursuing, or if I should just stick to completing my development rather than pursuing like material goals here. My intuition tells me, my intuition is screaming to me like, develop, develop, develop. But how, right? Not that obvious what my next developing move is. Queen has mobility laterally. No way to finish him off directly. I feel like I'd be safer castling kingside, but I think I actually need to castle queenside here. It enables my rook to have a lot of mobility. We are going to have to be a little bit careful about my king position moving forward. And that bishop is on the long diagonal. You know, it could become dangerous, so white has to take care. But I think we're pretty good developmentally. This doesn't really know where to go. To be honest, I have no idea where to put this bishop in this position. No square looks really appealing. Oh, so DST has a secret account. Let's all tell on him. Okay, knight d5. I would like to just sacrifice the exchange here. It actually looks interesting. Positional exchange sacrifice. If I were to take and then play something like queen a5 or queen b5 or queen b3, take on d5 and then play like queen b3. I have some crazy ideas here. Absolutely insane ideas. They're probably like all fantasy though. Man, I don't want to get in time pressure. I guess the sane thing to do is like bishop g3, but it's extremely passive. Rook takes d5, bishop c4. That doesn't work. Rook takes d5, pawn takes d5, knight g5. Oh, man, I think that I'm making a mistake if I sack the exchange here. Does he have tactics with knight takes? Knight takes, knight takes. Bishop takes. Not quite. This does clear my queen. And I don't think he has tactics immediately. My bishop sucks. It kind of sucks, but it is protecting a very important point. I don't know. My intuition wanted to play rook takes d5, but I didn't see the follow-up. I was looking at queen b5, but rejected it because of queen a5. I was looking at insane things like bishop c4. So we just played the simple move. Next, I don't know what to do. Like bishop b5? Where do I develop this piece? Bishop c4? I guess bishop c4 blocks my queen. I have that problem. I don't really like that. You know, my queen has this nice lateral mobility here. h4, h5 coming. Okay. That's actually a good suggestion. Who suggested that? Arsenal fan. Arsenal fan, you've learned about bishops that can be developed from the original square. Good solution to the problem. I agree h4 is a good idea. Maybe h4, h6 is black's best. And then if h5 he absorbs it with like g5. That's probably his best bet. But then he still has a move. Yeah, he should be prepared to play h6 if necessary. He's probably calculating tactics like knight takes e5, knight takes e5, queen g5 check, but I always have f4. This is double supported. I mean, I should be better here. Obviously, I have a lot of space. He's kind of tied up. His king is on f8. But I showed patience by not sacrificing my rook right away. In a 1-minute game, I would have done it, DST. I would have played rook takes d5, for sure. In 15-second chess, as well. 400 lower than on every other site. Yeah, I wonder why. Bishop g3. Thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel, Video Chess Training on YouTube. Guys, we're going to be back on Sunday with a simul. And I'm going to play as as much as 2 or 3 more games today. Man, I am zonked though. I woke up at like 8 o'clock this morning. I've been working for 12 hours. It feels like 12 hours straight. That's not 12 hours, that's 10 hours. But it feels like 12. Alright, bishop g3. Chess is hard work. Don't let anybody else, don't let your wife tell you it's not, basically. Or your partner. Whatever, whoever it might be. Queen a5. He's trying to trade queens. I mean, my advantage would be lasting, even if, you know, he does exchange queens. I have a lasting advantage. So I don't have a problem with trading queens here, but I do want to verify if this is in fact the best move. Okay. Yeah, I kind of like trading queens. At least his knight on the side of the board. I don't think he's getting out of this because he traded queens. I will admit to a kind of embarrassing thing though. I forgot I can't play bishop c4 here. But anyway, we have a massive spatial bind. It should really be basically decisive. I like Richie's suggestion, h4. Developing that piece from its original square. This bishop is sort of developed from its original square. Why did I insist on playing this move right away? I don't know. Well, we're threatening h5, and it just seems like a good thing to do. I think I wanted to play knight g5. I think that was it. But bishop h6 deterred me. And so now I can do knight g5. I forgot that was what was my thinking. And now I remembered. So knight g5, it's not that devastating, knight g5 though. The problem is he could have some annoying moves like f6, for example. c4. It's just too materialistic to go after that pawn on d7. It feels too materialistic, but maybe it's not. Play c4. Take his bishop on c8. Take the pawn on d7. I'm running out of time though. Justice of Dictator is pretty fast. Knight g5. f6. Knight f7 doesn't really do anything. It is kind of awkward for black, but I mean, why don't I just play h5 actually? Alright, I don't know. He didn't play h6 and g5 like I recommended. So we're going with h5. I don't think I thought this out very professionally. We just like panicked and lost a piece. Okay, that's tragic for black. His bishop is actually trapped. Justice of Dictator simply panicked there. His position was still playable. I think he's only like slightly worse, believe it or not. Bishop h6 check instead. Perhaps in g5 was the best chance. Now he's losing a piece. Doesn't look good. So we've got time for a couple more games. I promised 3 more games. Future Chess GM, I didn't even say hi. Thanks for hanging out with us. Haven't seen you in a while. I'm going to be going back to Europe, guys, so a lot of the players who might watch from the US or Canada or Mexico or wherever in the Western Hemisphere you are, you might be glad to know I'll try to do some streams that are like evening European time rather than the morning. The morning European time streams are kind of like early morning for USA, so it's pretty hard for people to catch the stream in many cases. Should I play c4? Is this risky for me to do this? You can play rook c8, king b1. I'm trying to walk away. I'm up a piece. It's winning. And I was thinking about sacrificing a piece here, but I don't see what it does. So, just as a dictator, he kind of gave me the game in a tense position. Now knight b4. There is this threat. That would actually turn things around. So I have to watch out. It could potentially turn things around in this case. But knight c6 now. Still, I don't have any direct forced win. Forced win. I like h5 there for black. There's still no mate. That's strange. I'm basically sacrificing a c-pawn to get my other rook mobilized. Because it wasn't mate right away, but it will be now. That's alright. So I'm curious how bad his position was when he dropped a piece here. If we go back, it says, like, obviously I'm winning there. Okay. So I expected bishop h6 and g5. Yeah, it's like he's down the equivalent of like the exchange here strategically, but it's still not hopeless. Bishop h6 check, king b1, and then your move, knight b7, and you're hanging on. I mean, black is hanging on here. It's pretty grim looking, but it's not a forced loss. But anyway, just as a dictator, to make a long story short, this variation is actually playable for black, but you have to play knight g8, and then you have to play f6. So we're following this famous game, Wrublewski versus Ponomarev, and I didn't see there was a new game. Zabagintsev played it like in 2015. This variation is actually something that like Grandmaster Leonid Chamkevich analyzed, I don't know, 20 years ago. I remember in an article in Chess Life. But yeah, f6, and then pawn takes f6, knight takes f6, where Ponomarev actually won with black against Wrublewski, which is pretty impressive. I mean, this should be better for white. There's no question. I guess Wrublewski played bishop c4. That was his mistake. So you have to castle here. And look at the engine. I mean, it's only like 0.3 advantage. All right, let's go on. I don't think we have any more subscribers, so we're going to play these guys. Arsenal fan, Richie, it's got to be late for you. You're the next game. I think I'll play that challenge through Catalea because it's a 5+3. Basically, I usually finish at 6:30. We'll get in 2 more games and maybe that quick blitz game. I'll go a little bit over time. But I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. And just tell me to fix my shirt because my head's not straight. There's usually that really anal retentive person who reminds me, but why is every shirt I have always do that? The problem is when I see it on the when I see myself on the webcam, it's like a mirror image. So I always try to pull the shirt the other way, and then it just gets worse. Sorry if I lose my voice, guys. We're gonna play a little bit of d4 here. Shamanic Sight. Probably, I'm praying this is not a rated game. Please don't sneak any rated challenges on me when I'm tired at the end of the stream. Rundle Phil, what's up, man? I've got just 2 games left. Been complaining about how long a day I've had, and everybody's asking me, what did you do today? I did hard labor. No, I'm just kidding. Just chess stuff. Chess is hard. So here we are, the main line, Orthodox Queen's Gambit, but Shamanic Sight played c6. This is a typical move. You'll occasionally see grandmasters who play this, but it's considered by the cognoscenti and the Illuminati and ancient aliens to be slightly inaccurate for black. I guess the refutation is bishop d3, losing the battle of the tempo. That's what I heard from Ilumjanov. His discussions with alien life forms. Where are we now? Let's see. Castles. Yeah, takes. Okay. This could transpose to like an old Alekhine game or something. Yeah, takes. If you try to do Capablanca's freeing maneuver now... Oh, he didn't. I was going to say if knight d5... Knight e4. I believe this is a position that Alekhine played with some random master, like Alekhine versus... see if I'm right, guys. After knight d5, knight e4, I think it's Alekhine against... oh god, it's like a random English master from the early part of the century. Yeats. I only know this because there was a really hot girl in my dormitory when I was in college, and her last name was Yates. That's what brought it back for me. Anyway, so Yates, Alekhine Yates. Am I right? I don't know. Knight d5, knight e4. Definitely study Alekhine's games if you want to play the white side of the Queen's Gambit. A lot of it is still like applicable today. Anyway. Got off topic there. I'm getting a little bit high on life. Bishop b3 or bishop d3. It's always the classic question. Oh, good. I don't know. Alright. I like my bishop pointing at the king's side. I never feel like it does that much from b3. This is different than Alekhine Yates. But the same idea should pretty much fundamentally apply. We don't really want to trade pieces. Nefedov actually says he can't recall that game. Is this sarcastic? Look up Alekhine versus Yates and tell me if it's... There's like a whole bunch of games they played probably, but I might be wrong. There's a good chance. There's probably a 45% chance I'm wrong about Alekhine's opponent in that game, but I had the feeling it was Yates. He definitely beat the crap out of Yates a number of times. It might have been someone better than Yates, but I think it was Yates. Yates was one of those like forgotten early 20th century masters. I'm wrong, according to Angel of Death. Alright. Maybe I'm wrong. Alright, so I managed to exchange, or to avoid the exchange of pieces, which is good. Now, Queen b1. Super fancy move. Probably not necessary. I like rook c1 here. Looks like a good move. Preventing the freeing break. Shamanic Sight. Damn, dude. Oh, you're the Indian guy. Wait. I just put it together, Shamanic Sight. You're actually... Shamanic Sight is American Indian Shaman. It took me like, you know, I'm very smart, but it took me like an hour to realize this. Shaman and shaman, you know, are probably the same person. So what's up now? Rook c1 to clear the b1. I mean, this way if I have to retreat my bishop back to b1 in the event of something like knight b4, my rook won't get blocked out of play. I like it. The hyper bullet. Don't get me started. Vital to your chess development is your hyperbullet skill. I thought that hyperbullet was a joke that was just like created for April Fool's Day. Now, this is actually going to be extremely similar to the Alekhine-Yates game that may not be Alekhine-Yates. Basically the exact same position with maybe the inclusion of one extra move by one side or the other. And the great master here played knight d2, avoiding exchanges and then exploiting the weaknesses on the dark squares. The complex of dark squares, which is so typically weak on the black side of queen pawn openings, like the Queen's Gambit declined, Indian defenses, and also some king pawn openings like the French defense and the Caro-Kann. People subscribing is all just a scam. Brundle Phil subscribed. Thank you, Angel of Death. That's very kind of you. I'll remember to discourage people. Alright, King h8. So we go for the e5 square. That's what it's all about. Alekhine-Yates. Yes, it had to be Alekhine-Yates. Yates actually ended up putting his bishop on a6. I remember clearly now. It's all coming back to me. This bishop actually ended up going out here, and Alekhine has a knight on e5. So I was right. I might even be able to find the game for you guys. Oh man. I almost fell over. That would have been funny. Let me find it. Alekhine versus Yates, London, 1922. This is, let's see. Alekhine-Yates, London, 1922, but it's not the exact same position. The exact same theme, but not the exact same position. Because Yates played like rook e8 at one point. At the point where Black played d takes c4 here, Yates actually played rook e8, making the position slightly different. But the theme is the same. g5. Okay, we've got the e5 square. That's important. I'm not in the right position, am I? What did I do? I just put my knight on c4. Okay, he played g5. I like g5, Shaman. I mean, that makes sense. Why did I put my knight on c4 so early? Well, what else was I going to do, basically? Knight e5 this way. He took. I actually kind of felt relieved by that. I don't know why. He's playing it like a Dutch stonewall. And, well, I mean, pretty much like the same thing happened in Alekhine-Yates, except for, I don't know, there was a rook on e8 instead of f8. And eventually, Alekhine did like bishop takes d5. But not all bishop takes d5s are created equal. Okay, guys, we're going to play Arsenal Fan and I think Catalea. But I don't think we can continue after that. I'm going to collapse soon. Why is it a scam to subscribe here, Angel of Death? I mean, if you're contributing to help people, support what they do, I don't see how that's a scam. Knight takes e5. DST said, if I ever got to challenge the world champion for the world chess title, I'll pick you as my chess coach. Are you talking to me, DST, or are you talking to someone else? Wow, Queen h5 now, and that's kind of a cheapo, isn't it? I want to say Angel of Death. Shamanic Angel of Death. No, Shamanic Sight is, you know, he's got this bishop that's actually kind of keeping him in the game here. Not that easy to put him away. I mean, queen h5, bishop e8, black hanging on. Queen h5, he has other moves there too. Could be kind of awkward. Queen h5, let's see. What else? King g7. No, that doesn't work. Queen h5 actually leaves him with a very small margin for error. Queen h5, rook f6 maybe. Nope. Unless he wants to sacrifice material. But queen h5. Feels like my queen is awful lonely over there. Maybe we should play something like rook e1. More central. I could play e4 at some point, try to break it open. But I feel like I kind of chickened out. You know, this was tempting. I mean, if f4 I could take it and play like bishop f1 and just exploit the open e file here. He played knight f6 now. Not that easy to break black's position down. Maybe I have b4, b5 minority attack here. This is thematic. Schematic Sight. He is defending credibly. The position is better for white, but it's not that easy. Protagon. Protagon, do you challenge me, or are you just subscribing for watching? Because I don't want to like neglect you if you want to play. Alright, a4. I don't know, maybe a4 is pushing it too much. I'm just going to hold here for a minute and try to collect my thoughts. Bishop e8. White is better. Maybe queen c2, triple up. I really kind of hesitated with rook e1. It was a passive move, I admit it. I'm kind of hoping for this exchange because it sort of takes the dynamism out of black's position, to be honest. I felt like I could simplify a little bit and it actually benefits me. The e5 square, even for a rook, could be a good outpost. But Shamanic Sight is hanging on pretty well. He's 2,000, which is strong. He's got a... Actually, I shouldn't play him because he's technically a new player with less than 50 games, but he is on the stream, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Alright, dude. Enough rudeness for today. Black has some counterplay here. He's defended this really well. I mean, f4 is going to be something I've got to watch out for. I'm not even sure this was a good move, rook c1. I should probably play rook e5 and just sit that there. Maybe bishop c4, try to bear down on e6. But Shamanic Sight is hanging on. He's played it like a Stonewall Dutch. I know we need a mod, man, but our mod is out for the duration, I guess. I'm gonna be starting a new time, so I didn't want to ask anybody to volunteer to be a mod since I'm moving to Budapest in a week. I thought we could hang in there for another week without a new mod, but maybe not. We shall see. Shamanic Sight. Yeah, we haven't had a good troll in a while, so we finally got one. Guess we go bishop c4 now. Golden question here, Arsenal fan Richie. Like, which way do we take back? We've got a slight advantage. I guess we should take back with the pawn toward the center. I kind of hate doing this though, because now I have very little open lineage. Open lineage. Look at this defense. Rook here. And we can just overload him. Just overload black. The two weaknesses. Arsenal fan Rich is up next, and then we're going to try to get in that blitz game against Catalea. Sorry for anybody else I can't play, but I'm kind of limited on the time here. So, grabbing the pawn. Finally managed to, it was like pulling teeth to get that pawn off him. And this is probably, you know, a practical mistake. Black exchanging pieces now because he is down material. I don't know though. Maybe not so bad. I had what? E5? Who? Who? Where? We try to break through here with D5. Do I have to? Should I take? It's a little hard to break through, but there's this weakness on F4. I'm defending myself. There's also D5. Still not an easy game to win. B or wasp. On move 28, you had D5. Thank you, Butt Fanatic. It's easy to see with a computer. Every move. Alright. King F1. So we just blunder here and lose, or G3. Actually, Rook E1 is probably pretty good. Rook E1. I don't know. But Fanatic is possibly right, but last time I checked I wasn't perfect. So, alright, let's play Rook E4. This pawn will fall. You know, he should try F3, but it will fall eventually. It would be important not to take it, you know. Now I can check and take another pawn. Bringing his king up. Okay, so the king and pawn ending. This must be winning for white. Should be a little bit careful about how we play this, I guess. Let's count the tempi here. Alright, we make sure that he doesn't have E4, and then G3, I guess. Now I'm threatening D5. No, okay. We should have a temporary pawn sacrifice there. Okay, D5 wins. Actually, A4 is probably a good move. Let's just play it. Shamanic Sight is fighting down to the wire. I've been known to screw up. I'm a little bit tired. So I wouldn't be surprised if I made some kind of ridiculous mistake. Even this move is sort of stupid. But now it's clear. Alright. I definitely didn't play it perfectly. I mean, I'm the first to admit this. Arsenal fan, Richie 8+3. Yeah, I'm sure that D5 was good too, but I have all all these crazy ideas floating in my head. Let's see. Arsenal fan Rich, who is one of our regulars, and then as I said, I'll play the one more 5+3. We're gonna go over time a little bit, just for you guys. I keep pulling my shirt. All right. Every time I look at the camera, I think it's going the other way. Anyway, guys, you're my favorite player. Thank you for playing. You played a tough fight, man. I mean, it was like a stone wall. It's probably defensible for black if you play perfectly. Just a little bit unpleasant. Thank you, American Indian. My pleasure, man. That's the first time we've played, so I thought you did pretty well. You've got a relatively new account with 22 games. Normally, I don't play people who have less than 50 games, but wow, Richie's playing the Queen C2 Nimzo Indian with white. This is a very topical opening. I'm gonna play B6, and I doubt, like, you know, Yellow Dragoon would probably know the theory, but Richie, he's not an opening expert. More of a practical player. So Knight F3 is a quiet move. I mean, the critical move, well, actually there's more than one critical move here. I mean, probably E4, A3. Those moves are both quite interesting. Knight F3 is more quiet, so nothing really special I can do against that. Basically, I mean, classical theory, B6 is considered to be a sideline because it allows white to play E4. And if bishop takes C3, B takes C, you give up the double pawn structure. You allow the double pawn structure to, you know, enforce this really strong center with E4. But anyway, here we're into more of classical kind of position. There are a million games in this line. How many IMs are in the world currently? Aha, a lot. A lot. I mean, the title's pretty common. I mean, I think there are probably, I mean, there have to be like at least 1,500. I don't know. I mean, there have to be a lot, dude. International Masters. Grandmasters, there's probably like 1,000. International Masters, there's probably like several thousand. I would just guess. There might be 1,000 Grandmasters and like several thousand International Masters. I'm probably ranked like 3,000 in the world. My rating is pretty low at the moment, so I'm trying to pick up some points, but I don't get to play that often. I wasn't very successful this year in the few tournaments I played. Very, very mediocre results I'm not happy about. So I need to focus more on improving my rating. Anyway, all right. So Rich, let's play the classical variation here. I don't know if we've ever played this. Richie usually plays E4, so he decided to play D4. I think Brundle Phil is approximately correct about the number of GMs and IMs. Oh man. But FIDE, you know, the International Chess Federation has a motivation to try to make more people have titles, because it means more like fees they can charge. Okay, I get the bishop on G3. He gets my other bishop, but I double his pawns. And I once had a similar game against FIDE Master, of all things. Strong FIDE Master. What's his name now? Spacing on the name of my opponent. A very strong FIDE Master here in the States, who's like, he's like 2460 USCF. I can't remember his name now. This looks like a weird move. F3, a little bit of a weird move. I mean, do you want to put your king on F2? Okay. It's not a bad, I didn't say bad, but a little weird. But actually, I could see, you know, hiding the king on F2 might be a good Not really combative, but personally it's okay. I guess I could also try to play like knight c6, knight a5, but I'm not in love with having my knight on the side of the board. Black can castle either flank. Could also play like king g7. I didn't think f3 was necessary. You could have played e4 straight away. Queen f6 I've experimented with against what is his name, and in a similar position. And the other move is obviously queen e7, where you can walk the king to the king side. c5, I don't know about c5. You know, it lets me play like d5, and that usually shuts down my bishop. I'm not real crazy about that. Queen f6, queen, or queen e7. The bishop pair is holy. I was mentioning it to someone recently. I think that the bishop pair is like, yeah, probably one of the like 15 most important concepts in strategy. Strategy. I'm thinking about castling on the right here, but I don't know. Can I open up the center? If I play e5, he has some ways to protect d4, unfortunately. You can play e5, knight b3. e5, knight b3, knight f8, c5. Sometimes this break, you have to watch out for that. Could be dangerous. If I castle, it can be dangerous too. I'm trying to keep all my options open here, but it's not easy to do that, unfortunately. How about a waiting move? I don't know if I have time for this, but I like to fianchetto my queen. This could actually be a useful mechanism. That's something I used in a previous game. Not right now, but a little bit later on. Like having the mobility with that pawn to crack the center. I remember the name now. Mika Brattain, that's his name. The guy that I played in this position, in this line. FIDE Master Mika Brattain. I had him dead to rights, and then I blundered in time pressure and allowed like a perpetual or something. It was really painful. He was lost, but I messed it up. Now I really want to castle queenside, but how fast is this guy's attack going to be on the other flank? That's the question. So interesting is like rook f8 here. King f2. c5. What if I just put my king on e7? It's certainly a plan, but then it's going to be hard to open the position up. If you don't want to do anything, you can play king e7. Arsenal Farici now has a 2-minute time advantage. Starting to get kind of disturbing. I'm half tempted to castle kingside now. c5. I mean, c5 has a little more going for it than it used to. I don't like e5 because it's inflexible. Castle's queenside kind of commits me. h5 is impossible. Oh man, this is just kind of tough. Alright, let's go for it. I'm going to castle queenside and try to attack him. Can I open lines against his king, and how quickly? How quickly can I open lines against his king? He played bishop d3. He's trying to stop me from playing f5, apparently. This is going to be like trench warfare. If I have to play like c5. Decided to do this. I don't know. This is really not clear who's better now. He's got a lot of space and he can keep the position closed. I feel like I failed. We do get a nice square for our knight. First I'm going to make a prophylactic move here. King c7, a4, a5. Karpov's favorite square in the Nimzo-Indian for the king. a4 might be a mistake because it fixes his pawn on a white square. Maybe better not to do that, I'm not sure. It did force me to play a5 though, kind of weaken myself. We've got knight e5, the permanent resident on e5. Alright, rook b8. Defense first, safety first. Then we'll think about attacking him. Man, he's amazingly fast. He's got 5 minutes to my 2 minutes. What's the difference between IMs and GMs? Just opening knowledge? No, I mean, it's like all around. I mean, everyone's different, but it can be just about like practical playing strength. Maybe, you know, some IMs know more than GMs, but their technique is just slow or... Okay, what am I doing here? Bishop c8, that's a weird move. Nice maneuver there. I mean, knight f1, dude. Knight g3. Now I have bishop a6. This is getting pretty strange. I feel like I'm being kind of materialistic here. But he's so fast. I think he played too fast, though. That's been my criticism of several players today. Yellow Dragoon got all insulted. But I mean, seriously, with an increment, I don't think you should like play to like blitz your opponent. I mean, I think you should just take your time. Rich has a tendency to play too quickly. It has been his downfall in the past. Okay, he's sort of tied down to this. Queen a2 obviously drops a piece. Queen e2. I'm not even sure if I want to take this pawn, to be honest. You have to be careful that you don't open lines for the opponent. And like knight takes notoriously like might even lose to a move like queen e2. So if I do take it, I probably have to take with the bishop, and then I have to be careful. In the resulting position, I might open lines against my own king. So sometimes it's better just to not take it and wait, you know, until later on. And I think we're better here because he's kind of got nothing to do. He sacked the exchange. This is kind of a little bit berserk, like a berserko move. I mean, it may be difficult for me to open the position, but I think that was unnecessary. Way too extreme. Knight takes g4 check. King anywhere. And I lose a piece. So that's that. Not that easy to break through. As you can see, there's no open lines yet for my rocks. It could prove difficult to win, believe it or not, up the exchange. Up a clear exchange. Maybe I should have played c4 also. That's something to consider. Guys, I'm going to play one more blitz game, then I'm out of here for today. We'll be back on Friday. What was wrong with queen g6? I don't know. You know, it just seemed like it was less mobile in general. But it was not a move that I dismissed lightly. Queen g6 was worth considering. Supporting f5. It was just a momentary decision. I don't know. I think that could be good too. But c4 is worth considering, as I said. Though I might give up the d4 square. I have to be careful about that. How about pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn? We just open the file. I got to be very careful about him landing on f5 with a knight there. Huh. Tough decision. This knight g7 thing. And I'm getting low on time. Alright. I hate taking this bad bishop, but it really, you know, it's hard to imagine this could be bad. His bishop's actually pretty good if it gets to f5. Now rook e8. Doesn't work. So I've screwed this up majorly. Oh my goodness. Okay, I have to play rook e8. And this is awkward. His knight is going to get to f5, where he probably has compensation now. I totally screwed this up. Alright, brilliant game by Arsenal fan Richie. He's not only good, but he's fast too. Knight g7 and white is fine. I would even consider sacking the exchange back. I'm just paralyzed. I might as well play like queen f6 and give him the exchange back. And he resigned. Okay, why did he resign here? I have no idea. I think he's at least equal. Apparently, the computer doesn't think he's equal, but I don't think he realized how good his position really is. Knight g7, rook g8, knight f5, and black has, I mean, white has a lot of compensation. I guess I was overreacting, but it's going to be hard for me to win this position. I mean, I don't know if I can win. Actually, why did he resign? Yeah, stay for a few hours while I pass out. Catalea last game. Rich, I don't understand why he resigned. I guess he had to go or something. Very strange resignation there. Alright, man. I thought he played great, and he resigned in a virtually equal position. Okay, the computer says he's like I'm +1 there. But, Catalea. Alright. So this is, Sicilian. I'm too tired to play the Sicilian. Let's play e4, e5. Richie just didn't say knight. He didn't see knight g7, knight f5. I'm too tired to play that. Alright, man. It's a blitz game. I forgot. What am I playing here? a6. I played this the other day in a game. I was just looking at this. It's pretty scary for black, but it's kind of forcing, and it usually takes people by surprise. Spassky versus Taimanov, 1955. Also, me versus Nebosha Nichkevich. It was also a recent game between Chucky with black won against last year. Chucky won this game against the Cuban Grandmaster Dominguez, I believe. Catalea used no time to find the best continuation for white, I think. Though there are other ways to play. You can even play like the bishop sacrifice. Where is it? Previous position. You can even play bishop takes f7. I think that's sound. It's been played. Okay, queen e2. That's a normal move. Spassky played knight h4 in this position. I think it's a brilliancy, and even Chuck faced that against Dominguez. It's also my game. Queen e2 is a normal move. It makes sense. This is what most people would play, and I think it's fine for white too. There's knight takes b5 threats. I'm not an expert on this position, so I'm going to have to think for a minute. I wonder if c6 is something I might have to play. Knight takes b5 looks awfully awkward. Queen d7, rook d1. I never did bother to figure out what's wrong with queen e2. Knight takes b5. Well, it isn't necessarily always a threat. Okay, we're going to move on. Right. Now I have to play what, like queen c8 or something awkward? Don't really feel safe here. White's playing very fast. But you guys know how I feel about fast. We like fast women. But not fast chess moves. They're not the same thing. Alright. Okay, time will tell, but Cataleya this is ridiculous. He's used like 15 seconds. Okay. Another move. He's used 17 seconds now for the whole game. What would Ivanchuk do? Queen e6. This is ridiculous. Is this a rated game? Thank God it's not rated. He's playing like freaking God here. Bishop c5 is the right idea. But it's still not decisive. This is pretty similar to the Ivanchuk game. Where Ivanchuk won with black, actually. It's almost the same position. It could even be the same exact position, actually. Something was different, though. Not sure. Very similar. I mean, Dominguez shouldn't have lost with white, but he did something lame, like exchanging on e7. Obviously, white is slightly better, but white is played like God. I still like knight h4 better than queen e2, but it certainly looks okay to me. Now queen e3, psychic network style, preventing bishop h6, which I was thinking about. h5 is tempting. I'm just creating weaknesses in my position, though. White's playing like perfectly. He feels like he's like 2500. Okay, now we have a chance to play bishop h6, but I'm not even sure if that's a good move. But then again, what else? What else can I do? Alright. We try to just survive. That's all we can do, right? Maybe the rook A. The rook A. Rather than the rook H. The rook H protects a little bit. So what's going on here? I don't know. Not really sure what I'm supposed to do next. Knight c8. He's just going to play like knight d5 and have an advantage. So we have to make a waiting move of some sort. Try to attack on the king side. Oh. I didn't even see this move. That's good. I'm basically paralyzed. He's claiming he's what? He's only 2100 USCF. feels stronger than that. But his rating is only 2200 lichess. Alright. I'm basically groveling here. This is my only idea, to play like g5, g4. I mean, I offer a draw. I don't know. I think that white is probably slightly better here. This looks scary to me. I mean, you could play even. Honestly, Dominguez went wrong against Ivanchuk by like making this exchange on e7 at some point, and then black had the two bishops, and that's how Ivanchuk beat Dominguez. But you might be able to play knight to d5. I mean, this could be a big question too. Knight to d5, but if you do that, then like takes. I don't know. See what the analysis board says. Better for white, knight h2. Yeah, I agree that white is better. I feel fortunate here to get a draw. Let's see what the engine says. It says he made it inaccuracy. This is his inaccuracy, queen d3. What, his last move was his only inaccuracy? Oh my god. Yeah, it's unpleasant for black. This position is really unpleasant. I played 11, center pawn lost 12, and Catalea played 10 with the inaccuracy. His only move, the final move, queen d3, allowing a draw by repetition. His inaccuracy is allowing a draw by repetition here. That's his only inaccuracy. Yeah, knight h4. I know, Spassky Taimanov. It's more dynamic than queen e2, but it looks like queen e2 is good too. It looks like queen e2. I don't know if there's something wrong with queen e2. It's actually been played quite a bit. So if we look at the theory here, queen e2 is actually the main line. Okay, so well, this move in knight h4. If you don't know the Spassky game, you probably won't find knight h4. I knew the game when I played the game against Nebojsa Nichkovich. So if you've seen the Spassky game, you'll find knight h4. Queen e2 is more of like a normal move. Apparently I played the right move, which is good. He played rook d1, and I found queen c8, and this is the first time I ever played this game. I mean, this is the first time I've ever played this position. Nichkovich also drew against Grosspetter in 1996. Yeah, this is queen c8, best move. Peter says rook a5. We played h3 like a normal move. That's a new move, but it looks perfectly good. And yeah, I mean, white's... I didn't think about knight g6 here. The computer's suggesting that. But white's got to be slightly better. Alright, guys. Interesting game. I don't know that I would play this line in a tournament game, but I'm not Ivanchuk, you know. I got a winning position against Nichkovich and messed it up and drew. But it is a really, really risky line for black. I just like to play it because it's easy to play, and most people with white don't know it, so it's not easy when they do know it. Anyway, guys, we'll see you next time Sunday for a simul stream here on lichess at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Take care, and thanks for subscribing. Check out my YouTube channel, Video Chess Training on YouTube. And thanks to everybody for hanging out with us, and especially our subscribers. Later, guys. Good games. Bye-bye.